The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
And here we go with Miss Didi. Hey.
Hi. Hi. How you doing?
I'm great. Always good to be at the Best You EXPO.
Where are you based out of? I know we're in Miami, but where are you?
I am based in Los Angeles, which is the big hub of the expo when it was live.
I am as well, so we're neighbors, so we'll say hi off camera. Well, I'm going to give Crystal the pleasure of introducing her dear friend, you, and you guys, I'll see you at the end. So peace and blessings. Watching The Best You, Miami. You guys are awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking to the woman of the decade. Oh my God, what an honor to get that award.
Yes, it was really a very special moment, a highlight of my life for sure.
Wow. And so for those of you who don't know Didi, she was born in Hong Kong, and there's like a whole list of stuff. I'm going to read some of it, but it's just amazing. International keynote speaker, award-winning author, TV producer, financier, serial entrepreneur, business mentor, best-selling author, angel investor, and the list goes on and on and on. You're just so amazing and so inspirational.
Thank you so much.
So we really appreciate you being on again with the Best You Expo. And Bernardo always talks about the fact that, you started out a portion of what you do with the Best You Expo a few years back. How many years ago was that?
Yeah, so that was only 2018, it's really just about 3 years ago. Wow. When I was a brand new speaker and I took the plunge and signed up for the Best You Expo, and everything else is history.
Well, without further ado, I want people to hear you and to see. We always talk to everyone each day, Tony and I, about if you want to sign up to be a speaker. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you can expect is, and no pressure, Didi, no pressure at all. As you go through this process, your life changes, and you have changed lives as well. So thank you for being on, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I am so honored to be here, everybody. And really, the Best You Expo is the birthplace of my speaker. And when I first stepped on that stage, Bernardo was probably wary of who is this girl? She's never spoken before. But I just jumped on stage and took it, by the balls, per se. And really just enjoyed my experience every single time I've spoken at the Best You. And Bernardo and I have become great friends, and we support each other in what we are wanting to do. So thank you so much always for anyone here watching and supporting the Best You Expo. It really is one of the best platforms for personal development. There's a lot of amazing speakers. And today my speech is about the power of mentorship. And I decided to do this because it's a really important topic for me. And as I was starting out, as I mentioned earlier, only 3.5 years ago, I sought out mentors. I sought out people that I can follow, people who can coach me. And right away, I want to define the difference between a mentor and a coach, because a lot of people ask me, what is the difference? And mentorship is really a person who can kind of help you with all aspects of your life as well as your business. Excuse me. I already drank some water and it's still coming up, my little froggy in my throat. So I want you to understand that coaching is a different ballgame because it's very specific. So let's, for example, say the NFL players, right? They have a coach specifically to teach them about how to play better in football, right? So they have a coach probably to get them the mindset all right. And the coach could also be a mentor, just so you know. And the mentor is generally somebody you can really really respect and sought after for general advice on everything that you want to achieve in your life. So it's a broader term. So I really want to ask you guys to think about your life right now. We just started 2021. What is it that you're doing? And if you're doing it because it's something to do trendy right now, because it's something that you have to pivot to because of the pandemic, because you think you're passionate in this subject, or because you know that this career can make you a lot of money. But is it something that can bring you your ultimate success? And what do I mean by ultimate success? Everyone's answer to that question is different. For me, it is to do anything to do whatever whenever and with whomever I want. So I have the power to control every aspect of my life. And at the end of the day, it's really about time management. It's about how your mentor can win you a lot of time, save you a lot of time. So that because he or she has walked the walk and talked the talk, you follow them so that you can not waste any money and not waste any time. And for me, when I was starting out, I was already 40. I wasn't starting out, but I was starting out my new journey after having 4 children. And I was really thinking about, what do I really want to do? When I had my 40th birthday party, I had an aha moment. And I had all my friends write on these rocks what one word to describe me. And somebody actually wrote 3 words and said, get stuff done. And I was just looking at all the beautiful words that they thought, to describe me. And I was thinking, wow, how amazing it is to actually, look at these rocks and inspire me to want to go out to the world again. And actually, if you guys don't mind, we can go into the PowerPoint when I bring you in, because I want to take the first half. Thank you so much. The first half of the speech, just to really connect with you guys intimately. And that's why I decided to sit down. As a speaker, there are different ways to approach it, right? And right now, I actually chose to sit down and get closer to the camera so that I can really look you guys, if I can see you in the eyes, and I'm pretending I'm using my visualization so that I can really connect with you guys. And if I stand up, which I will be doing tomorrow in the main stage, it would be a totally different experience. But this MMI, the Masters, Mentors, and Influencers room, for me, it's more of an intimate setting where I really want to connect with you. So back to the rocks. So I saw get stuff done. So it made me think, well, I'm not getting much stuff done. What I was doing a lot was changing diapers, breastfeeding, and taking care of my children, which of course is very, very important. And kudos to all the mothers out there who are doing that, right? But something inside me was telling me, oh my gosh, Didi, you should be doing more. There was a burning desire. And if you guys haven't read Think and Grow Rich yet, please pick up that book and read it, because the number one success principle of Napoleon Hill is having that burning desire to go out there and do whatever you want to do. And for me, during that birthday party was when I really had all sorts of words and sentences and voices getting into my head. It's like, Didi, what are you wanting to do? Because you now have 4 children. Do you want to become a stay-at-home mom and that full-time being a mom, which is really in essence a very, very important job? Or was that something else that you wanted to do, or you wanted to continue to do? Because by that time I had already been an entrepreneur and I had my yoga clothing line, and I was quite prominent in the yoga world. But I became part-time yoga clothing owner, and because I had the 4 children. So anyway, I decided with that burning desire to go back out to the world. And I really want to tell you that you have control of your life. You can control doing whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want. Because that is the ultimate success, to have that freedom, to have that time freedom where you don't have to ask for a boss to give you a vacation time, to approve of you going on vacation. You should be able to decide that for yourself and for your family. And that is the joy of being an entrepreneur. I really, really love that, because I can decide today, you know what, I don't feel like working, and I can really go out and spend more quality time with my children. Just the other day was my daughter's birthday, and I did have the control of my time schedule, and I could go out and just spend a whole day with my daughter. So it's up to you to decide, wherever you are in your life, do you want to achieve that time freedom, right? So once we get over that, I want you to think about mentorship just like physical fitness. Physical fitness is when you want to get strong, you want to tone up, you want to lose weight. And a lot of people, when they've made that decision, they either, back in the day, join a gym or, have sort out a personal trainer who can help them, or get on a program of some sort, right? So if you did that for your body, and you know how important that is to keep you fit, keep you strong, keep you physically wealthy, then why don't you do that for your business or your personal life, right? So I call it work fitness. And work fitness is really when you decide you're ready to go out there and seek a mentor. And when you find that right mentor, and I'm going to teach you how to find the right mentor, you can then really work on your work fitness. And by the way, mentors could be a lifetime relationship. It could be a short-term relationship as well. So if it's short-term, then it becomes coaching more like, right? So I want you to define that for yourself. If you are clear in your mind, then you will be clear in what you can do and plan for it. So when I got to the stage when I decided to go back out to the world, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a yoga clothing company, and I was thinking, but I'm kind of a little bit bored with it, and I didn't really want to do inventory anymore. I was constantly talking about sizes, extra small, medium, and large, and took all these tank tops and t-shirts and shorts and all the things that I offered, and I was just bored with my inventory. And I knew that when I stepped out into the world, I wanted to do something else. So just like you who are sitting here right now listening to me, I went out there and attended a ton of seminars, workshops, conferences, you name it. I attended and I showed up. The power of showing up is really, really powerful. So the fact that you are here and you clicked on to watch me, there has to be a reason, right? I'm very spiritual like that. So there is a reason why you decided you were attracted to my name or my likeness and wanted to click on to watch me today. So I want you to think about that, showing up. And are you just showing up 1 year in and 1 year out? Or are you showing up and really taking notes and really being present with me and really taking on what I'm saying and actually take it into an action? So mentorship is the same way. You want a mentor to give you ideas, give you a confidence and encourage you, give you homework so that you can go out there and actually take steps and not just 1 year in, 1 year out, right? So when I went back out and attended all these seminars, I was just watching. I went to a real estate seminar where Tony Robbins was speaking. It was my very first time watching him. And this is just 3.5 years ago. And I was watching Marshall Silver. I was watching Brandon Burchard. I was watching all these names that I had no idea who they were. But I was so intrigued because I was watching them speak and they were selling these programs. And then all these people, I was in a huge warehouse looking place, right? Where there were probably like 15,000 people there. So when I bought the tickets, I actually decided to not be buying a general ticket. I bought the VIP, ultimate VIP ticket, actually, they called it. And so I was able to sit in the first 5 rows because I'm kind of like a very typical Chinese girl. I like to sit in the front so that I can really concentrate. I'm going to spend that money. Why don't I spend the money to be in the front so that I can really focus on what I'm learning, right? So I sat in the front with my husband, and we were really going through a lot of the real estate things. We really wanted to get into real estate. But then all these personal development speakers came out, and I started watching them, and all these people went to the back of the room, signing up for courses that were $997. I mean, herds of people, right? And they were waiting and waiting, and it was almost like an auction. This guy in the middle, like, okay, who's next? You know, and they were waiting for papers for people to fill out. Who needs a paper? Who needs a form? Who needs? And then everyone was just waving their credit cards. It was a crazy experience, but an amazing one. So I started looking at these speakers, and I was like, wow, this is a really fruitful and very very good monetizing profession to be in, right? So I was just in my head looking at all of this, thinking about real estate, thinking about, wow, all these people who are just like really passionate about personal development.
It is said that we live in a world our questions create. And it's true. Those that have succeeded in life, those that stand out, those that have made a difference, those that are inventing, those that are exploring, pushing the boundaries of reality are based on those that have asked themselves empowering questions. In my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I help you find your true purpose, find your legacy. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering, or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
So then I just kept going. And obviously that was the trigger in how my journey continued, because I was sending out to the universe that I really liked this idea. And I was thinking I could see myself doing that. But then I still didn't go actively to seek out being a speaker at that time. And I was just going to seminar after seminar. I owned a company at that time. I started a new company called Social Spotlight Events, which was an events company. And through that events company, I met a lot of different people. And one of the people I was introduced to was a guy named David Melzer. And I will tell you, once the slides come out, and I don't usually use PowerPoints because I really do believe in connecting and not using that. But this particular Power of Mentorship speech really, my PowerPoint really, really, really shows you how the Power of Mentorship has helped me. So I really wanted to show that to you. So hopefully that is going to add rather than take away from the speech. And, all these people, now we can put on a slide if you can behind stage. Thank you so much. I want you to see that for fun's sake, right? So fun celebrity mentors. You have people like Oprah, who is at the top of the world, right? Her mentor has been Maya Angelou, right? And then you got Barack Obama, who obviously was a president. His mentor was John Lewis, who has since passed away, right? And Bill Gates is Warren Buffett, and I'm actually in talks to do a movie about their relationship, which is really cool. For those of you who don't know, I am an executive producer for TV and movies, and so that's another part of my life that I love. And it's really bringing storytelling to your eyes and inspire you in so many different ways. So I love the medium of TV and movies, and that's why I kind of jumped into that as well as speaking. And then you have Lady Gaga, which is really fun. And you know that Elton John has been such a big influence in her life. And in fashion, if you like fashion, Yves Saint Laurent's mentor was Christian Dior. If you didn't know, Robert Downey Jr., Tim Story, whom I'm executive producing a TV show with right now, and Mark Zuckerberg is Steve Jobs. Was Steve Jobs. So I wanted to show you this slide because even on the left side with all the people that you see who are mega, mega, mega successful and are probably mentors to millions of people, right? They themselves also have mentors. So what I wanted to illustrate here is that everyone needs a mentor. If you want to accelerate in a fast, steadfast way, you need to go and find yourself a mentor. And what better timing to do it than the beginning of a year? When you attend something like the Best You EXPO, where you hear about from a ton of amazing speakers, what if you find yourself a mentor who you really click to? And let me go into that a little bit. How do you find that right mentor? That right mentor, it's like a relationship. It's like a friendship. It's like a friendship, a relationship that you find in everyday life that you just know when you meet them, when you look at them, that they are the right person for you. And I really want to implore you to think about that. When you hear a speaker speak, and when you hear about somebody talking about a speaker or a coach, you get recommended by word of mouth. First off, that's really good. When you know somebody you really trust who recommends you, that's also a very good way to get to the right mentor. But when you find a speaker that you really like what they say, how they say it, the philosophy and their energy, if you're into energy and spirituality, I would implore you to really connect to that person and book a time to talk to them and connect and see if they would be the right fit for you. Again, just like in a relationship, you may talk to them and you are right after 30 minutes, you're like, actually, that's not the right person for me. Just like in dating, right? Or you may think, oh, I really am intrigued by them. And I really like the way they put their words and they speak their philosophy out. And you can just tell. We have sixth sense, right? Human beings need to tap into more of their sixth sense. And that is success principle number 13 in Think and Grow Rich, right? I really love to use that principle to guide me to make my decisions. And when I met Dave Melzer, back to when I was introduced to him, as soon as I walked up the stairs in his office and I locked eyes with him, I just knew, and he told me the same thing. We just knew we were going to have a good time and have a relationship where we would do things together. We just knew it. It's just like it's like a work chemistry. And I use that same kind of sense when I meet new people now, when I network. As soon as you get on, it's within minutes, maybe even seconds for you, that you will know if this is the right person to have in your life, right? We have the power to choose whom we want to talk to, whom we want to spend time with in our lives. So utilize that. The more we get older in life, the less time we have on our hands. So I always use that for myself. I'm like, okay, I'm 44 this year, and I really want to. Actually, I'm 45 this year. I'm going to be turning 45. I just want to be accurate. I want to know that in my next 20, 25 years, I can accelerate and climb up that ladder and be and achieve what I want to achieve. So what I need is to, surround myself with people who are powerful, people who are successful, and people who know what they're talking about. And so I have very quickly kind of changed my surroundings, and as you grow, you're going to see that people you will grow out of people, and don't be ashamed of that. And it's not like I say this a lot when I speak about friendships, right? There's a group of people who will, if you just continue being friends with them, they will pull you back because they're negative or they're constantly talking about or complaining about the same issue. 9 years down the line, they're still complaining about that same issue. So you need to know, this would be great homework for you guys. I love giving homework. To write a list of 10 people whom you talk to the most, whom you consider close to you, and look at those 10 people, and are they people who lift you up? Are they people who are like mentors to you or who are coaches to you, not needing to have that title, but just people in general? Like my father, he's my father, but every time I talk to him, I consider him my mentor because everything he says it really rings true to my ears, and I've really been able to learn so much from him. And my husband, same thing. When I met him, they say opposites attract. We have so many things in common, but yet he has so many things that he has taught me along the way, where I view him as my mentor in different ways, right? And there could be friends who are mentors. There could be just sisters or brothers who are mentors. But you have the power to surround yourself with those 10 people. Make sure if one of them or two of them are not lifting you up, supporting you, and really believing in you, then you can probably move them aside and add people in. And that is the power of surrounding yourself with really great people. And that's actually the mastermind success principle number 9. I really love the Think and Grow Rich book. Can you not tell? I was on the Think and Grow Rich world tour put on by John Shin last year, and it was really magical. Actually, it was 2019 because I keep thinking we're still in 2020, but we're in 2021. But those principles really ring true to how I live my life. And the mastermind is all about surrounding yourself with great people. So as you see on that list, Oprah Winfrey surrounded herself with all of that. Okay, so next slide, please. So I want to tell you about my journey right now with my mentorship. It all started with my meeting David Melzer. So David Melzer is the CEO of Sports One Marketing, and he is also now a huge name in the personal development world. He has also his own TV show. I mean, he does everything. I mean, he knows everybody in the sports world. And for him, when I met him, I was actually going to hire him or have a collaboration with him to get him to help me bring in some sponsors for an event that I was doing. And through our conversations, it turned, I mean, he definitely still helped me in that respect, but it kind of turned into such a great friendship. And he invited me to all these events that he was putting on. And so I showed up at an event at 7 a.m. in Irvine. And I live in LA. So Irvine, it takes about an hour to hour and a half to drive there. And this is the power of showing up. I said that earlier. If you are serious about something and you are truly ready to take that next step into greatness, which is Crystal Richardson's thing, right? She likes to step into greatness. She talks about it in my TV show called Speak Up TV on Amazon Prime. You step, she even does this. And I see, Crystal, I've employed your movement. She steps into her greatness by hiring somebody like David Melzer. I hired David Melzer to be my mentor after watching him speak. And he believed in me so much that he said to me, Didi, you're just 3 years behind me. You can do everything that I'm doing. And the fact that he said that made me feel like, wow, here's somebody who really believes in me. And that's number one thing about a mentor. You find someone who believes in you and who encourages you. And there is a trust there, right? So David Melzer trusted me, believed in me. And so without him, I wouldn't have been on a TV show called Elevator Pitch, which is like a Shark Tank. And he asked me to be one of the judges. And as being a judge, you have to be an angel investor. So you invest in other people's dreams and their businesses. So at that time, I got to share with you this story because I was really afraid. I didn't see myself the way he saw me. And we all have that, right? I'm sure this really resonates with you. Everybody has their own demons, and that the angel voice versus the devil voice, I call it all the time. And that devil voice creeps in and think, oh my God, I'm not good enough for that. I can't, how can he believe in me so much to put me on a TV show? And, but the angel voice, I've learned to use it to overcome that devil voice and say, hey, if somebody like David Melzer believes in you and asks you to do so, then you are good enough. And it's time for you to step up and stop being a little chicken and be like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. But no, I am good enough. I'm going to come out of my shell and say, I am good enough. So what if I've, spent my last 10 years, 8 years being a mother and only did nothing but change diapers and take care of my children. So what? Because inside me, I believe in myself that I have the intellect, I have the smarts, I have the know-how to go out there and make it some way, somehow, right? So when I went on that show, I did some prep because back then I wasn't very good with my numbers. I actually didn't even really understand on Shark Tank what they meant by I'm seeking $100,000 for 5% of my company. Back then, I actually didn't know exactly what that meant. And I asked my brother-in-law to help me because he's really good at his numbers. And I remember he's in Hong Kong and I'm on the phone and I was like, it's drill me, right before I went on. And just so I understood that, I was just in a position where I'm really good at what I do. I'm really good at connecting with people. I have the money to invest in other people's businesses. And I knew in a different way than the normal entrepreneurial corporate way that I would bring something totally unique to the TV show. And so I stepped out of my shell. And that's one thing, a takeaway for you guys. If you want to grow, put yourself in a very uncomfortable situation like I was put into for this TV show. And so I was sitting there as a judge and I was fake it till you make it, right? And, but the thing is, it was in my mind that I was faking it, but I really wasn't faking it. I was being really real. And the fact that I brought in a totally different feel to the show because I wasn't this corporate business person talking in business lingo. I was actually, the audience was actually able to connect with me because I'm Didi Wong and I speak in my own language and I don't have to have these intellectual terminologies that will make me feel better about myself or make me sound more intelligent. I am just who I am. And that is what made that show special for me and for the audience and for the other panel members. So next slide, you'll see that David Melzer introduced me to a bunch of people. The next thing he introduced me to do was the Impact movie. By the way, my Impact movie is finally premiering this coming Thursday. So I do hope that you guys can, if you have the time to watch my premiere. Basically, it's my journey of my speaker. You will see me very, very green the very first time I stepped on stage, all the way to just 6 months later when I stepped on stage to receive my award in India at the Women Economic Forum, as well as the United Nations. So my journey of becoming this speaker that you see who I am today, it's really so unique because it's so fast and accelerated within 6 months. And I had to go out there and do my homework. So they did pick me out of doing all these auditions, right? They told me that they had interviewed over 1,000 people and they picked 3 main characters. One is to be a speaker, one is to be a CEO, and one is to become an entrepreneur. And for me, I asked them, they were so kind to me, Patrick and Kasha, the directors. They said, Didi, we really want you to be in this movie. And you actually get the choice to pick which role you want to play. And I was thinking, well, I really want to be real. I was already a CEO. I was already an entrepreneur, but I was not a speaker. So I said, actually, I would love to pick being a speaker because if I picked being a speaker, you really will see my journey. And I've never spoken before. So that was what they approved of. And they said that, yes, you can be the speaker. So it was back in 2017 when I shot this whole movie. It took about a year to shoot. Actually, maybe it's 8 months to shoot my journey into becoming this successful speaker, the international award-winning speaker that I am, a keynote speaker that I am. That sounds so good. Back then, I was just a speaker, and I wanted all this title, and it now feels so good that I've achieved it for myself, and you can too. If you are out there listening to me right now, I seriously was just a mother of 4. I seriously was just part-timing in my first company, Chakras by Didi, selling yoga clothing. And I seriously did not know what I wanted to do when I came back out into the world. So I really want to encourage you and inspire you to know that just now, 3.5 years later, almost 4, that, putting your effort in, showing up to events, going on networking sites and groups and any events where you can go out and show face, and have guidance from a mentor, it can really, really help you and get to a point where you want to. So the Impact movie got me to become my speaker. Next slide, please. And then David Melzer was the one who introduced me to Patrick and Kasha. And then in the movie Impact, I met Karasi. Karasi is the person who, the videographer, so she was a PA, I believe. She was helping out, doing B-rolls and stuff. And then she was like, Didi, oh my God, I just love your story. I want you to meet my friend Lynn Rose. Please, next slide. So from now on, backstage, it's going to go faster. Okay, so Karasi introduced me to Lynn. Lynn, keep going. Next slide. Lynn is somebody who has also become a very good friend of mine, introduced me to another TV show. Said, Didi, you would be so great. They're looking for people to be in this show. This is more like a reality TV show where a bunch of, like a group of 15 people travel around the world to kind of find themselves, right? So this was just at the beginning of 2019, where Lynn texted me as soon as I came back from my Christmas holiday with my family. I remember we went on a cruise. I had my phone turned off. I kind of got back to the port of Los Angeles. And then I turned on my phone and there was a text from Lynn saying, hey, do you know anyone who would be interested in going on this TV show? And so I decided, hey, why don't I do it rather than go and, this spoke to me, all the things that they were looking at. And at that time, I was really seeking for something greater. And I had just got off doing a women economic. So I'm the president of the Women Economic Forum in Los Angeles. And at the end of 2018, I had put on a really huge event at the JW Marriott downtown LA. And it was so beautiful and glamorous and everything went really well in front of scenes. But behind scenes, I will absolutely confess to you, that was my biggest failure in my life. Because of that event, I actually lost over $250,000. And I was just not in a good place at the end of 2018. So Awakening Giants came to me at just the right time because it was a TV show about finding your purpose. And I was just so lost at the beginning of 2019. And like, oh my God, I just lost all this money. I made wrong decisions. I plunged at doing it. And by the way, I want you to know this, making a decision is better than making a bad decision is better than not making a decision to do something, right? If you made a bad decision, you will learn from it. And some people say that you are what your biggest failures taught you. And losing over $250,000 at the Women Economic Forum Los Angeles, even though everything went really well and all the attendees just had a most amazing time, behind in my heart, I was just like, it was eating me up, and I was so sad and disappointed in myself. And so Awakening Giants came at the right time. I went to do this show in New Zealand and really got an enlightening and epiphany through my journey. Next slide, please. So Awakening Giants then got me into what I've always wanted to do without even knowing. Back when I was such a little girl, I was in school, and I guess the teacher saw something in me and asked me to be a director and producer of a theater show. Back then, I was young. And I remember putting on this show, and I remember thinking, wow, what a great feeling. I want to be a director or a producer one day, right? And so I didn't even realize it. But after that New Zealand journey on doing this TV show, the producers, the executive producers, creators of the show came to me and said, Didi, we just really believe in you, and we love what your story is about, and you were so great on the journey, and we would really love for you to step up to be a producer of the show. So that was just like amazing, because that kind of gave me another path, right? Because I had just done the Women Economic Forum. I know I was a speaker, but now I'm a producer.
To find out about my latest projects, get a free coaching lesson, or download my book, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
And then through that, through the Awakening Giants, I met another woman called JB Owen through being a producer. So Sprite, who is the executive producer of Awakening Giants, asked me to be the producer of Awakening Giants, to then interview other people to kind of cast them to see if I approve of them to come in to join the next season. So she put me in touch with JB Owen. I had a really great call. Thank you so much. Yeah, just keep going. So JB then asked me, after we had that interview, it was 1 hour long. It was supposed to be just 20 minutes, but we just talked and talked and talked. The interview then turned into JB asking me if I wanted to collaborate and go and do kind of like teach speaking to her authors. So she's a publisher, book publisher. And so you see how it's linking everything. I'm slowly showing you the spider graph that I've created to really show you how, because of David Melzer, all these things happen. Lynn Rose also introduced me to the Coen brothers. The Coen brothers are a pair of brothers who are very famous in Australia and New Zealand, and they help people write songs and music. And I used to try. I wanted to be a pop star in one time in my life, by the way. Back in the day, what have I not done? In New York City, I would try to become a pop star, and I had dancers behind me, but that was a kind of a pastime. But I do love singing and I do love music. So Coen brothers got me into writing my own songs, which kind of not professionally, but kind of personally, it really gave me some kind of fulfilled my passion in my music again. And this was just the last few years. Please keep going. So once we got past the, all the Ignite, I'm doing collaboration with JB at this point. I'm producing Awakening Giants TV show. I'm now writing songs. This is all making me very happy and very fulfilled in my life, right? Then the Impact movie, apart from meeting Kerosene, I also met a coach that's on the movie called Eric Bailey. And Eric's job was to help me become a speaker, right? So Eric then once wrote on post, hey, does anybody, I want to introduce my mentee. I'm teaching her, she's becoming a great speaker. Anybody have any stages for her? And then this lady who's amazing, Alison Larson, who has the Speaker Collision, and she's now doing stuff with Gerald Rogers, was very helpful in my speaker and kind of told me to meet somebody called Dave Van Hoos, who was at that time the CEO of Speaking Empire. Now, Speaking Empire was a speaking school that I went to learn how to really speak. And actually, it was $50,000 for me to join that school. And for me, it was like, okay, you know what? I know it's a lot of money, but I know in my heart of hearts, I kind of delved into my success principle number 13, which is my sixth sense. And then my and then I just made my decision, success principle number 7. You have to be able to make decisions fast and make the accurate decisions fast, right? So in the Speaking Empire then got me to meet Trayvon because he was a fellow student in that school. Keep going. And then Trayvon got me to meet John Shin, who was speaking yesterday on the Best You EXPO. John Shin is the one who is a producer of Think and Grow Rich tour. So he hired me to be, on the Think and Grow Rich tour next. And then I met clients galore at the Think and Grow Rich. I was out there almost every month speaking. Dallas, Phoenix, San Diego, and all of these places, LA. And then Adelaide became my speaking client. And she had a speaking show that she asked me, Didi, should I do this show? It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Speak Up, right? So I'm like, of course you should do it, Adelaide, because this is like on Amazon Prime. Like, what better platform to be a speaker than Amazon Prime, right? So I said, in fact, I'm going to go and do it with you and hold your hand. And she was so excited when I said, okay, I'm going to do it with you. And so they were actually had 2 spots left. And so I was really lucky where I went on this show, and this was only 2020 February. So all of this happened very fast. I really want you to understand this, that my career, my unique acceleration in my career, becoming a speaker, becoming an award winner, becoming an executive producer, all the things I've achieved like this, right? And every single day, my life changes. Is really interesting, because I just can't fathom the fact that all these things came my way. So I became a producer on Speak Up as well, right? So if any of you want to be on Speak Up and be on this show where you're a speaker, please contact me. I'm really excited to cast season 3 right now. Think and Grow Rich fellow speaker was Nick Lowry, who is a Hall of Famer. And Nick Lowry introduced me to Fabian and Kenny. Fabian and Kenny are now people I work with to work on developing TV shows. They are very well versed in that, and they decided they would want to collaborate with me as well. And then, so now I'm doing American Icon with Tim Story. I told you earlier, American Icon is a TV show that we're developing. And then we're developing also Money Moves, which is a hip hop Shark Tank, where we're going to go out there and really meet a lot of entrepreneurs and help the minority in this world. In the Shark Tank style. Keep going. So we're going to go faster, because I know I only have about 15 minutes left. And then so through Eric Bailey and Alison Larson, I also met this guy called David Fagan, who is also a speaker. It's a close-knit of speaker friends, by the way. And David Fagan helped me a lot. Talking about marketing, how to do PR, and he's a publisher himself. And at David Fagan's event, I met Colleen Biggs, who got me on the cover of the Lead Up magazine and got me into a women's community where I help with women empowerment. And then Dave Melzer also, I love this photograph, by the way, and it gives me joy to kind of rewind, go back to my life back then and fast forward to see what really has happened in the last 3 years. And Dave Melzer also asked me so he is the chairman of the Unstoppable Foundation, where we give back to Kenya and children, and we've built villages and bring clean water, and the give back part of doing philanthropic stuff and having social impact. So I am an ambassador of the Unstoppable Foundation. Keep going. And then the next part would be, yes, through Unstoppable Foundation, I met Brad Hart, who was the other millennial ambassador, right? Brad Hart then introduced me to Eli Wild, who taught me about sales. And by the way, if you want to take notes, a lot of these people that I'm giving you full names of, you need to look them up, because they are truly part of my journey in becoming the successful person that I am today. And Eli helped me a lot in knowing my languaging and how I sell. Every day you're promoting yourself, you're selling, but how do you sell as a coach in order to sell high ticket programs to people? And then when I went to Eli's event, and by the way, all of these people have different events, and it was up to me to show up and decide to go to these events in order to have met all these people. So the fact that you are here and you decided to watch the Best You EXPO, maybe something about this event that will take you to the next step, right? I really believe in that, as you can see in my spider graph. Alexis Mosienko, right, got me into the Women Economic Forum. I will never forget, and I will be eternally grateful to Alexi, because he introduced me to his godmother, who got me into the Women Economic Forum. And then the Women Economic Forum gave me this amazing Women of the Decade Award for Entrepreneurship and Venture Capital. That was that special moment I was talking to Crystal about earlier, where I invited my parents to India to see me speak, because they weren't approving of what I chose to do. But as soon as they saw me speak and they saw me win this award from the Women Economic Forum in a very beautiful main stage, very well done. And this is their headquarters in New Delhi. That they finally saw their daughter like, wow, we are proud of her. Because all my life if you know anything about me, I am this Chinese daughter, just like any other race or religion, that you just want your parents to be proud of you, right? And that was my all that I was seeking. And at that moment at the Women Economic Forum in New Delhi, when I stepped on that stage, and you'll see this in the movie Impact, by the way, that was my very, very special moment. Okay, let's keep going. So Women Economic Forum, of course, I stepped up, and Dr. Habeen, who's the chairman, asked me to be the president of the LA chapter. So I stepped up to be this president, and that's why I did that Women Economic Forum Los Angeles, where I lost all that money. But no, it's okay, because I empowered a lot of women, and that to me was worth the money. You know, I was really sad inside, but yet my other half of my brain was just like, but hey, just think, all that money you've donated, you invested into all of these, people's relationships. People met each other in my event. There were so many speakers highlighted. We awarded amazing women, and through that, a lot of these women have actually thanked me for having put on that event. And I know that even though I lost all that money, I did something really great. And of course, so how I got to the Best You EXPO, because David Melzer again. I was looking into all the places that he was speaking at in the next few months. And one of them was the Best You EXPO. So I clicked on the Best You EXPO. I started looking around, and I was talking to Katie at that time, one of the team members. And she was just like, Didi, you can totally become a speaker here. You know, you can launch a speaking career here, and you can have your book ready by then. And it was 3 months time when I spoke to her that I had to get all this ready. So I love it. When I talk about physical fitness earlier, right? I love when I have a deadline. Like, I want to work towards running a 5K or running a marathon or running, whatever you have that you can put as a deadline to achieve something. That's always a good thing, because you can actually time manage and achieve a certain thing by a certain time. So the Best You was back in March. I was talking to Katie. Actually, I think I was just talking to her in January, to be very honest with you, back in 2018, and got ignited to get my book together and get my speaking together. And so at the Best You, of course, I met Bernardo, who saw me, my birth of my speaker. Keep going. And I'm going to just wait for And then, of course, since then, because I've been speaking at the Best You, it's got me to speak on the same stage as Les Brown, Jack Canfield, and Bob Proctor, and many, many more big names. Like this time around, I'm speaking on the same stage as Lisa Nichols, who is one of the greatest speakers in the world and so impactful. So as you can see, I hope you really are getting why I decided to do this PowerPoint. And when you get to a certain point, yes, you can keep going. You have to think about you. And what are you doing? What are you are you really being smart about all these relationships that you're making? I was really good at keeping in touch with a lot of people and constantly showing up, putting the time in networking, putting the time in increasing my relationship capital. And through the elevator pitch show that I was telling you about, that I was really scared. Remember, I was sitting next to the different CEOs, billionaires, and I got to meet my other mentor called Amelia Antonetti, and she has now, she's now the president of her own company called the Genius Key, and I have now become a founding investor in her company. And so Amelia teaches people about scaling their businesses. So I kind of really wanted to learn from her. She has Genius Institute. Yep. Genius Institute is the umbrella title of Genius Key, where it's a personality test where you get to really learn about yourself and what is your purpose, what are you really good, what is your genius, and then you can pair yourself up with other people who have different kinds of geniuses so that you can really team, and it's all about the collective coming together to make something great, right? Keep going. I think if that might be it, actually. Okay. So the Genius Institute, yes. Okay. So the Genius Institute, and thank you so much. go back. Yeah, perfect. I'm ending. So I'm really on time right now. Punctuation is very, very important to me. Back to that slide before, just the 3 blurbs I want to go talk about. The Genius is Key introduced me to Michael Solomon, who is the head of Miramar Pictures, got me in, really into the executive producing of movies. Michael Gorton, who is the CEO, billionaire of Teladoc, who, I'm meeting all these people through all this Spidergram. And last but not least, the Genius Keys, the clients that we have are people like Warren Buffett, Jay Shetty, Steve Harvey, Kelly Clarkson, and all these amazing people that I have met just through hiring David Melzer. So I really want you to understand that. I know I'm coming to the end, and you can go to the next slide if you wanted to, so that people can really know how to contact me. What it is that I told you about today in the 45 minutes I had with you. A lot going on, a lot of my stories, a lot of how I became to be. I wanted you to learn about me, first of all, because you're not going to connect with a speaker if you don't know about them. And so I wanted to tell you these stories so that you can see the upclimb that I have been going through in the last 3 years of my life, right? Today's gift for you is my free ebook that you saw in the ticker, Didi Wong, freebook.com. Through David Melzer, I have been able to meet all these people. The power of mentorship is real, guys. If you find the right person to be your mentor, they should really be able to connect you. They should believe in you. They should encourage you, give you positive support, but also good criticism. Some people, I'm a tough love type of coach. Don't just pick a mentor who's always stroking your back. Well done, well done, well done. No, you need somebody who actually will keep it real with you as well when things are not well done and you're not showing up and you're not doing what you're meant to do to get to the next level, right? So you do you. Believe in yourself. Go find yourself a mentor if you don't have one already. Check if your mentor is the right one for you, if your coach is the right one for you. And I really wish you guys an amazing 2021. As you can see, you can, text me or all of these things. Oh, and this was old, by the way, when I did it back in virtual LA. So just take the top part, Didi Wong, freebook.com. My handles, definitely follow me on Instagram. DM me. I love meeting people. So please just write to me if you want to connect. And if you want any stages to speak on, I love connecting to people. I connected a lot of people to the Best You EXPO. And just let's keep in touch. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, you guys are muted.
Oh, I know. I'm talking. Wow. I love spider diagrams. Some people, it's like too much because it's like, whoa. You keep adding and adding, but it tells a story. It really does. And so now, like you said, I see why you wanted to show that.
Yeah.
What's funny, Didi, is I know a lot of those people because in our speaking world, it's a very small community, and I'm sure Crystal does as well. But right. We, throughout our path, we cross each other. And so again, having these webs, there's other people caught in these webs and we share things. But, I've never personally met you other than through the Best You EXPO. Right. So we have a lot of the same social circles, which is amazing. And we share a lot of the same resources. But yeah, congratulations on such success in such a short time.
Yeah, thank you. And that's why my path is very unique and, my journey, but it doesn't mean you can't do it too, right? And it's all about you showing up, making that move, utilizing the people you meet and getting to the next point. And I manifest people in my life, and I manifested Crystal in my life, and we've become great friends. And I hope to get to know you more, Tony. And, and this is the power of the Best You EXPO. You come to a platform like this and you make an effort to go and meet people, right? But don't just meet them. You got to follow up. You got to follow up and continue the friendship, right? Until whatever comes your way.
Right. And the one thing I wanted to say was the power of one. The power of one. You asked yourself one question when you had your birthday. One question. about what is it that you want to become? What do you want to do? Like, okay, I'm here. This is my life. Not necessarily even what's next. It's like, who am I? What am I? And what am I going to do about like all these gifts that I had? You're saying 3 years, but it took your whole life of everything that you went through to get you to where you were, those 3 years
ago. Be ready, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it was one question that just changed your life. The question to yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I love doing this speech.
We have a wonderful panel coming up next, so we're going to throw it to a commercial, and we'll be right back, you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. You're watching this version of the Best You EXPO 2021.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.